Let's talk about TikTok's overconsumption pipeline.
I low-key feel like banging my head into a wall.
So I give my self-care closet a glow up.
This is full-on hoarding.
Without a doubt, people are buying more products than they ever have before, but now it's turning into hoarding. And to explain what I mean, I'll have to start at the beginning. Clean talk and the illusion of control. Clean talk is a space on TikTok that focuses on cleaning, organizing, and routine. And at first glance, it seems pretty wholesome. I mean, look at this video.
Does your toddler have a crazy obsession? Considering sending mine to rehab for his Hoover addiction.
But as with many problems, big issues can start with the need for control. I mean, let's look at the Lego movie, for example. Lord Business wanted to control everything and it almost destroyed the world. Did I just compare clean talk to the villain from the Lego movie? Yes, I did. Here's what I mean though.
I've been cleaning out my beauty products and cannot figure out how I have this much stuff and am still a swamp demon.
I'm sure if there's a product that exists, you can probably find it in this video. I mean, it looks like it's gotten to a point where if there's any free space, she refuses to let it remain empty. She's colonizing every inch of free space that she has. It's even in the laundry baskets. The kids haven't had clothes in weeks. They haven't been seen in weeks. They're lost in the jungle that is Bath & Body Works products. Mom, you can't stop me.
Jordan, it's too dangerous. I'm begging you, don't do it. You'll get lost.
I'm an adventurer. Let me adventure. Well, Mom was right. I have no clue where I am. And what I've just talked about is more specifically on products, but there's still a whole nother side of clean talk that still has some pretty bad effect. Take a look at this clip from Restock Videos.
$2,000 of fridge restock.
I can't even put into words how insane this is to me. Like, why did she buy so many Cokes? What is the purpose? Can I call her a cokehead? To be honest though, at least she's choosing Diet Coke, so she's being healthy. I mean, if it was a regular Coke, would have been a whole different story. Would have been a lot worse. Would have probably had to call some ambulances or something. I don't know. It would have been crazy though. So as you can see, what started as a simple cleaning motivation quickly turned into a full-blown industry. We see all these perfectly organized closets and refrigerators and pantries. It gives us control over the mess and clutter, and it turns a chaotic world into an aesthetic one. But these videos can teach us a dangerous lesson.
Organize my overconsumption. Overconsumption is having to reorganize your room every time you go shopping. Product and bathroom organizing and decluttering.
It's taught us that if our spaces get cluttered, don't get rid of stuff, but instead buy more stuff to organize it. So in our attempt to control everything, we end up making things worse. Just like Lord Business from the Lego movie. I told you it's a good comparison. Of course though, just like every situation, every story, there's two sides to it. There's the side that inspires people to clean, declutter, and take care of their space. But then there's the other side of clean talk that focuses more on buying things and consumption. And this is the beginning of the overconsumption pipeline. It turns the act of trying to gain control, in this case cleaning, into consumption. According to this study that explored the relationship between clutter and well-being, subjective clutter positively predicted negative emotion and loneliness. So it's linking clutter to reduced life satisfaction, which means that really when you're buying more things, it's not necessarily improving your life satisfaction, even if it's just to organize. And like I said, this is just the beginning of the overconsumption pipeline. It really just gets worse. So let's move on to the next stage of the pipeline, consumption as identity. To explain what I mean, there's a specific side of TikTok that I want to explore, and this is the arts and crafts side of TikTok. I mean, specifically color talk, but I feel like every time I talk about color talk, I start a little bit of drama. I legitimately think that the most controversial thing I've ever done in my life is make this video. I made so many people mad.
There will always be scumbags out there who can't make it with their own creativity. Why can't you just let people be happy? I think you are a sad little person and should stay out of other people's business.
But anyways, in certain parts of arts and crafts TikTok, it seems like there's a lot of overconsumption going on.
Hey YouTubers, quick reminder from the coloring community that not everyone buying markers is breaking the bank. I have over 1,000 Ohuhu markers and I bought some sets out of my own pocket, but some of them were sent for collabs and PR, so it's not just cash. Y'all act like we're out here drowning in spending. We're creating, we're passionate, and we support brands and each other.
This was the self-proclaimed queen of overconsumption, showing us all of her supplies. But there's another issue that I want to talk a little bit more about. And that issue is when your consumption becomes your identity. So like, for example, if you go around buying a lot of a product and then that becomes part of your personality. So Jordan, tell me about yourself. I buy mangoes. Do you mean you like mangoes? No, I mean I buy them. Oh, okay, cool. What else can you tell me about yourself? I buy mangoes. Nice. And with trends or communities where you kind of naturally just buy a lot, which happens a lot in creative communities, this is something I see a lot of. In some cases, there are influencers where their entire brand is just buying things. So not only does your personality become about buying things, but it becomes about buying trending things. And here's the problem with that. When your identity or personality is based around buying things, you don't buy things according to your taste, you buy things according to a trend. And so when the algorithm moves on, you're left with a pile of products that don't fit your vibe and you end up wasting them. And not that this is a one-to-one comparison, but in trends like fast fashion where people constantly buy new clothing, that has been linked to lower self-control. So I guess low-key, I'm kind of a part of the fast fashion community because even though I don't buy clothes like that, I don't have much self-control. And also not to mention the sustainability side of it, which I guess I just mentioned. So to mention it, the sustainability side of things. So with that, we've talked about how consumption turns into overconsumption, and then how overconsumption becomes an identity, but then it gets even worse. This type of overconsumption is becoming content. It's becoming a hobby.
Me and the mailman are like this.
Haul time!
Happy New Year! New Year, say me, but better me.
On this side of TikTok, people really aren't interested in what you buy. They're more so interested in that you're buying. Shopping hauls are like the WrestleMania of this side of TikTok. That's when we get videos like this.
Besties, I have a huge shopping haul. No, like seriously, I have a huge shopping haul. Probably my biggest haul yet. My shopping addiction is crazy. For real, crazy. Grab your water, your chips, your snacks, whatever, because we're gonna be here for a long time. Let's get right into it.
This is a tell me you're rich without saying you're rich type of moment. I mean, I know that Bath & Body Works bag alone is worth at least $100. Then multiply that by this amount and you're probably spending a good chunk of change on these products. But to be fair, maybe she'll never have to buy a candle again. She's candled up, candled to the max, candle person with a lot of candles. Maybe she's like the overconsumption final boss and she's able to use all these products in a single day. She'll have like 50 different smells going on at once. She'll be super slimy from 10 tubs of moisturizer and her hair will probably be super sparkly. I don't know if that's a thing, but I'm gonna roll with it because it sounds right. There's also a lot of videos like this for things like clothes, specifically Shein mega hauls.
Oh my gosh. Shein haul.
There's probably more clothes in this haul than I have total. But to talk about some of the issues with this, let me show you a statistic. Retail returns continue to pose a significant cost for the retail industry, with total returns projected to reach $890 billion in 2024. That is an insane number. Like, I don't know if you fully grasp how crazy that is, but for example, if retail returns were a country, this would be the 22nd biggest economy in the world. That is insane. The reason I say that is because in many of the videos like this, it's purely performative. And these performances get rewarded by the algorithm, so videos like this just keep getting pushed more and more, and so the pipeline keeps getting bigger and bigger. Eventually, the overconsumption pipeline starts to look like a Target on a Friday night. Next in line, please. Finally, I've been waiting in line forever. Yeah, sorry about that. A lot of our employees are still shopping. Anyways, just go ahead and start scanning my items, please.
2 hours later.
All right, so your total comes out to $10,987 for clothes. Now let's move on to shampoo. And what starts to happen is that this consumption hobby starts to infect other hobbies. So what happens when hobbies themselves get consumed? Let's talk about the death of hobbies. Hobbies used to be about doing and creating, but now, especially with the rise of TikTok, hobbies are becoming less about fun and more about how you can monetize them or make money from them. Let's take craft talk, for example. I've seen so many videos where people are buying products, not because they want to use them, but because they just want to make videos about them buying these products.
Overconsumption Core, Artist Edition.
According to the Craft Industry Alliance, which sounds like a parody, but it's real, 72% of US crafters admit to having unused supplies stashes worth $500+. So people have a lot of yarn, paint, clay, and maybe straw if you're making scarecrows. A lot of these people have a lot of supplies laying around. I'm sure it's pretty similar to how a King's Vault used to look in ye olden days. At that point, it seems like the mass acquisition of creative goods isn't about using them or being creative, it's more about just buying things. Which I'm gonna get myself into some trouble here here because I don't fully understand this world, but this seems like something that's very common on Yarn Talk.
Brace yourself. Suck it in. Squeeze those cheeks, sister. Suck it in. Come on, work with me.
And that's all I'm going to say about Yarn Talk because they kind of scare me. They're going to knit a straitjacket around me and throw me in a jail cell made of yarn. Anyways, there's many different kinds of hobbies that we can talk about where this is the case. For example, there's book talk.
I have a lot of copies of Fourth Wing. I really like this.
There's Pokemon cards. There's Legos. And there's action figures.
Give me a break. It's not like I want to hold her hand.
Which all of that leads me to another important question. At what point is it creating versus consuming? Well, here's the explanation I gave in another video. So what is a hobby? According to the Webster Dictionary, it is a pursuit outside one's regular occupation engaged in especially for relaxation. I guess the next thing we have to ask is, what is overconsumption then? According to Webster, it's the excessive consumption or use of something. I think the key is found in the word excessive. If we go back to the Webster Dictionary one more time, excessive is defined as exceeding usual, proper, necessary, or normal. Now to put this all together, I've developed somewhat of a math equation. Hobby plus excessive equals overconsumption. And with that in mind, now I want to talk about when overconsumption becomes hoarding. According to the American Psychiatric Association, around 2 to 6% of Americans meet the criteria for hoarding disorders. And I am by no means a mathematician, no means at all. But I feel like out of the thousands and thousands of videos that are made about overconsumption, it seems like at least a few of them would meet the criteria for hoarding. And honestly, TikTok indirectly glamorizes and promotes this kind of behavior. I mean, take this video for example. I'll also say this. Yes, this is satisfying to watch and is very pleasant on the eyes, but would I be crazy for suggesting that this looks almost indistinguishable from the beginning stages of hoarding? Or what about this video?
Hi, I'm Lainey, also known as the Overconsumption Girl, and today we're going to be showing you every single product that I have.
Or even this video where this creator bought 200 lost mail packages.
I bought 200 lost mail packages. Let's see what's in them.
And the dangerous part about this is that the algorithm rewards this kind of excess. The more extreme the stockpile, the more the algorithm rewards it. And that means that creators are pushed, intentionally or not, towards behaviors that mirror hoarding. But it doesn't have to be that way. Because for many creators that can fall into borderline hoarding, myself included in certain situations, there are many creators finding a way out. Whether it's donating, deciding to quit doing haul videos, or even just returning back to the essence of a hobby, there's so many ways to escape overconsumption. Once we realize that joy isn't in the cart, but in the actual act of creating, we'll start to find happiness have been hiding before. Just like that stat I mentioned earlier where lower life satisfaction is associated with clutter, the opposite is also true. Less clutter is associated with higher life satisfaction, and that's something we can all strive for. In fact, if I were to take it a step further, I would say some of the best moments in life are hardly about spending money. Like the joy of creating something with your hands, the laughter of board game night with friends and family, the sweat from a workout, the t-shirt you've worn for years. The real wins are algorithm friendly. They're life friendly. TikTok's overconsumption pipeline is powerful, but at every step, there's an off-ramp. We can scroll past hauls, we can wear the same outfit twice, we can paint with the supplies that we already have. And by doing that, we can get something that TikTok can't sell us: genuine happiness.